Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to talk to you about the International Crimes Division of Uganda. The division was set up in 2008, and the story behind setting up that division is a very sad one. From 1987, for 20 years, the northern part of Uganda and some eastern parts of Uganda were beset by war, which was known as the Konyi War. Konyi was the leader of the Lord Resistance Army, which fought a war in northern Uganda for all those years. For whatever reason it might have been, it disrupted the life of the people in northern Uganda and the eastern part of Uganda. People were displaced from their homes. Children were separated from their parents, and some of them, up to this date, don't even know in which place they were born. Girls and women were raped. The boys were forced to join the rebels and become fighters. They were forced to commit crimes that normally they would not have agreed to commit, but because they were put at gunpoint, some of them were even forced to kill their own families. Many of them ended up in people's displaced camps, and until the war ended and the guns fell silent, when they tried to go back to their homes to find the places where they were born, some of them could not even tell where they had been born. It's a sad story. So the government of Uganda decided to set up a court to try the perpetrators that could be identified by the victims of the war. Because as we may know, peace is not just an end to war. People, if they are not punished for the wrongs that they have done, they will never learn, and perhaps they will not be prevented from committing the atrocities that they committed, like during that time. Justice demands that people should be punished for their wrongs, and those who have done right should be rewarded. In this case, because there were many perpetrators, the court was set up, first of all, by practice direction, because there was no law under which it was going to operate. And normally when there is no such law yet in place, the head of the court, and in this case the head of the High Court, by practice direction, will come up with some directions to set up the court to guide it in how it will operate until the law came in place. So in 2008, it was set up by practice direction. In 2009, it is supposed to have 5 judges, at least 5 judges, but 3 judges sit as a panel on the court if they are going to hear a case. So in 2009, the judges of that court, together with some prosecutors and some investigators, visited the war-torn areas to talk to the people, because the traditional systems of reconciliation had not worked as well. The whole life in that region had been disrupted, and probably people may not have still had confidence in what used to be the traditional way of settling things. So they went out to talk to the people to find out how did they feel about setting up a court to try the perpetrators of the crimes that were committed during this war. And they found a positive response from the people. The people agreed that if they were facilitated, they would be able to come and give evidence to the prosecutors. It would be all right if the court was set up. And in the same year, the members of the court, with some human rights organizations like the Human Rights Commission, the members of Uganda Law Society, and I believe, if I remember correctly, there was a judge also from the ICC. They met with the Legal Parliamentary Committee of Uganda to talk about domesticating the Rome Statute so that it could be turned into law into Uganda, and that was agreed. And the International Crimes Court Act was agreed upon, and it became law in 2010. So the court sits in Kampala, but still they can't go out to places because not all the victims, people who would want to give evidence, may not be able to come to Kampala. It is quite far. So the court, it is much easier to facilitate the court members to go and sit in those areas so that they can hear what the victims and the other witnesses have to say. The court is open to the public, and it uses the procedures that are set down also in the laws of Uganda, criminal laws of Uganda. We have the Trial and Indictments Act, we have the Penal Code Act, and we also have the Evidence Act. So they use those cases when they are, those laws when they are trying people in this case. It is meant to try war crimes and the other crimes against humanity that may have been committed during that time. And yes, people, I think, have also asked questions. They are wondering, the process is not as quick as they want to be seen. And sometimes there is difficulty in making people give evidence against their very own. Because, yes, people are presumed innocent until they are proven guilty. Some people were so young, and to relive the experience that they went through, they find it quite difficult. But they are trying to do the best they can. And we hope, that with time, I know that there is one of them being tried here. We don't want to comment about that, because when a matter is sub judice, we are not supposed to talk about it. There is another one being tried in Uganda. I'm not part of that court, so I don't at this moment know how far it has gone. But the question I would like to put to the audience, how else can we make sure that we don't have these situations like we had for 20 years, people fighting useless wars? How can we prevent those situations from happening? So just to partly answer, just to maybe give you a clue, I would expect some more ideas from yourselves. I will quote a great teacher who said that the earth is one country and humankind is its citizens. We have to treat each other with the utmost love, peace, and unity. So powerful is the light of unity that it can envelop the whole earth. And once we learn to do that, then all these ceaseless strifes, these ruinous wars will pass away, and the most great peace shall come. So I expect ideas from you so that when I go back to Uganda, I'll have an opportunity to talk to the judges and see that apart from putting in place these laws and trying to punish people, we find other ways in which we can bring justice and peace to humanity. Thank you for listening to me.